Hello again, I'm still Ben, back to the hatch to see what our next topic is. The two laws breakdown. This is definitely another one under the philosophy section. Welcome again to the philosophy section. If this is one of your first videos, please, they should all be kind of in order for as I'm making them. But what do I mean by the two laws breakdown? Well, this is a particular philosophy and policy that, is expressed in a lot of places, sometimes called the Golden Rule, sometimes noted as the two commandments of Jesus in the New Testament. It was, of course, what is the quote there? Do unto others as you would have them do unto you, right? That's the Golden Rule. That's basically what it is. I've added a second one in this case, which is also simply you can't restrict other people's freedom based on your decisions. Now let's rewind there a little bit, because what I mean by these two laws is that these are sort of, this is a big one, man. I love having notes, and I don't ever take notes because then it's not off the cuff. And I also am new to this because I don't like putting my face out here. I want you to know that. If people like me are doing this, you should know how bad things are. These two laws are the fundamental two laws we need for a peaceful society. Now, I'm going to catch some flack by saying I think that original Golden Rule, where you love your neighbor and treat them the way you would treat yourself, is slightly backwards. Perhaps it's a mistranslation over all the eons. We've got a lot of those that we could cover, in fact. But it's wrong because it still puts your interactions on a level where you're assuming what the other person wants based on you. It's a selfish interaction. You're being the person who's like, well, I'm going to treat them the way I treat myself. That's just a little backwards. If we treated everyone the way they want to be treated, and I know that sounds incredibly insane at first. You're like, well, that's going to be impossible. Everybody's different. Everyone's got different belief structures and traditions and blah, blah, blah. But it's not hard, actually, to meet people at that halfway point and treat them the way they want to be treated. Because when you think about it, if we're all participating that way, that means you get treated by everyone the way you want to be treated. And that's what it really is about. It's about making everyone comfortable for the sake of being respectful, right? Like, I could upset all of Asia by telling them how I traipse through the house with my shoes on, but that's not a thing they do over there. But if you went over and visited a friend in a place where it's, hey, please take your shoes off when we come inside, and you were like, no, I don't believe in that, and I'm going to treat you the way I believe in, you can see how that's a jerk move immediately. So we have to flip that thinking around just a little bit, because when you intellectualize it the other way and treat people the way they want to be treated, if all of us go around being as accommodating as within reason for that sake, then that's a much more peaceful, respectful society. Now, what I mean by you can't interfere with other people's freedoms is that whatever laws we craft have to be in such a universal way that your rights individually cannot, by virtue of whatever they are, hinder the rights of someone else, right? Like, your rights start and stop where somebody else's begin, and that goes for everybody. That's why we have to have laws written in much more easy, universal terms. I'll definitely have another video about the problem with the way we write laws. But in this sort of two laws breakdown, that's the easiest way to describe it. And if we want to use an example, really it should be almost three laws, because the treat you based on what you believe is more of a philosophy behind it. But the real law in question for a peaceful society must simply disallow violence. It must say that there's no intentional violence can be allowed, which is, that's a normal law. We have that now. Murder is not legal for a reason. Everyone would go nuts. We have got several Purge movies about that. Not that I think everyone would really go nuts. I think most communities would actually come together and stop that kind of nonsense, because we're, probably only a few months away from that being announced as a real thing. But with the no intentionally harming each other law and the your rights and freedoms start and stop where everyone else's do in order to respect each other, that overarching treat others the way they want to be treated behavior encapsulates those two things. And if we can agree on just that, then we've got a shot at an actual peaceful society on a larger scale, right? This is an important thing that I want people to consider. Consider it also for the bad elements of our society, like the fascists, because if you treat them based on what they believe, then that's actually how we're supposed to deal with them. That's correct. You need to treat people based on what they believe, based on their ideologies, because that's respectful. So let's see, what do all the fascists and Nazis generally believe? Well, that one group of people specifically is better than pretty much all the others, and they have the right to do whatever they want and discriminate against them and kill them and wipe them out if they so choose, and pretty much reign over the rest of the world because they think they're better. So if we're going to treat the fascists based on what they believe, then it would only be right to make them the target of that discrimination, where we have to discriminate against somebody because it would be disrespectful not to, engage with their belief system. We have to wipe out some group because that's what they desperately believe in and they want to be correct. They believe that one group shouldn't have rights and don't have any sort of legal say over themselves. Well, I've got bad news for your logic, Nazis. If all of us adopt that, you're the first ones to go. See how this works? It works on every level to treat other people the way they want to be treated. My name is Ben Howison. Sursum Corda.